Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today's guest is a Philly based award winning screenwriter, actress, stand up comic, and improviser who's been called sharp, sassy, and unapologetically funny. And honestly, that might be underselling it. She's taken the stage at New York Comedy Fest, New York Comedy Fest, Don't Tell Comedy in Minneapolis and New Orleans, hosted the San Francisco Sketch Fest, and opened for T. Murph at the Detroit House of Comedy. And she's performed stand up, sketch, and improv across the US, Canada, Mexico, and Europe. Offstage, her screenplays have picked up multiple awards, including Best Female Screenwriter honors for scripts like Widow's Wishes, check that out, and Reality is On to Something. So please, I'd like for you to all help me welcome the lovely Dr. Holly, aka the Sexy Shrink. Hey.
Hey, good to see you again. You listen, you gave my bio justice.
That's all you, honey. You did that one. You did that. I was like, wait a minute, I can't leave. Some things you just can't leave out. People do it all the time. And they say, oh, it's too long, it's too that. But it's like, but people need to know what the credentials are so they know what basis we're talking about, right?
Yes, agreed.
I'm a fan. And you've done your work double time. So you got to give you, just like when people say, do I say doctor or don't say doctor? You better say doctor. You know how many years of school they went through? Come on now.
Amen.
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 Yes. I really appreciate you coming, first of all. I hope everything's good out there in Philly, right? Philly?
Everything is good. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be back because I was with you a couple months ago this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the what did I call that series? With the Black women express their opinions or something. I forgot the title of that show, but that was a great episode. So
yeah, it was. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that again one day soon, because sometimes I think, and I'll be fair, I like to have one with a bunch of different various groups of people. Men, I want to do one with the men next. So it's not just us, but I needed us because so many people doing this on us right now, and saying what is our truth. So
right.
It's good to hear from us. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's get it started. I love your backdrop, by the way.
Thank you.
Pink is just so girly. Is that where the shrink comes from? Okay, I see you, girl. Okay, nothing like red and pink. I see it. So let's see. How did you first get into comedy? Like, what was the moment that you decided that you actually want to try stand up?
It was like right after the pandemic. No, during the pandemic, I was talking to a friend of mine at the time, and she was like, yo, you're really funny. You should try stand up. I was like, really? She was like, yeah. And I'll be honest, like most people got like hobbies, like, oh, I'm into yoga, or I'm in spin class, or I like to go and like, blow glass or whatever it is. I just don't have hobbies that incorporate using my hands. So after the pandemic ended, or like kind of moving towards opening up again, I was like, maybe I should go and take a class. Maybe I should start doing mics. And she was like, listen, I'm gonna hold you to it. I want you to get into it. And I did, and I started, and I have not looked back.
Wow. What comedy school did you use in Philly?
So I went to Philadelphia Comedy College in Philadelphia. I did that class second. I'm sorry, let me rewind. I started out at Helium Comedy Club. Chip Chandler was my teacher. Then after that, I went to Philadelphia Comedy College. Shout out to Keith and Suray. Then from there, I came up to New York, and I did classes at UCB. I did classes at Comedy Cellar. I did classes at Brooklyn Comedy Collective. So all over, but just mainly between Philly and New York. Yes, because I'm like, if I'm gonna be out here doing it, let me, be around.
Thank you.
Actually get the chops. Yeah.
That's something that's very big, because I tell people that all the time. Like when I got into it, I did the same thing, because people kept giving me all this chatter that didn't make results. I kept saying, well, the best way my mama used to tell me is learn your craft. So I was like, I heard about Manhattan Comedy School with Andy Engel, and I did a class. I think it was at Caroline's at the time. and they let you perform. So that was my graduation show, actually, when Bush was in office. That's how long ago this was.
Wow.
But I ended up getting stage fright. So I did my set and I made it through. But I don't know why, when that light hit, the warning light, I just went into this. I didn't know I had it in me because I'm used to walking down runways. But that's not the same beast at all. So it's not the same beast at all. You're dealing with an audience that you have to have enough experience to understand what will make them open up. Runway modeling is way different. That's just are the clothes nice enough to get the attention, and then how I present it is the thing, right?
Okay.
So it's way different, in my opinion. I could walk out almost barely nude and be like, I don't care. Maybe not now. That was like, my 20s. But it's a different beast. So I tell people you have to take classes and hone your craft. So I took that, and it was the best thing I ever did, because I wouldn't have known. You could still do comedy by going to the open mics, right? Like if you go to mics every night, you're going to get better no matter what happens, right? But you still left picking up screws and bolts around and not figuring out, why isn't this staying together? I don't understand. So maybe you don't know the way you hold the mic because no one's teaching you, right? They don't tell you. You have to adjust it to your height. So you might leave it there every time you go, and people will see you're going like, just little nuances that you don't think about. The class will help nip that all in the butt. You know? So I loved Andy Engel's class. I had Karen Bradine, I think is her name. That was my instructor. And they're still there, by the way. Now they're at Broadway Comedy Club, which I took a buffer 10 years later to say, let me just see because it's always been calling me, and I've always been writing. I just never did it again.
Oh.
And I did it, and I haven't stopped since. Been, I don't know, 12, 13 years. I don't even know. Took a break during the pandemic.
Okay.
But you have to hone your craft. That's the one thing. I took UBC, Upright Citizen Brigade. I did that for a couple of years, improv, because that is very much into what we do, right? You have to hone it. So well done for you. They had a whole college, huh?
Yeah. I think for me, taking the classes, you are right. They do teach you like these nuts and bolts that you don't get if you go to a mic. But for me, it was the writing piece. A lot of comedians don't write. They just kind of get up and riff. But for me, I've always been a writer. I mean, since I was a kid. And so writing jokes, I think when you go in front of your peers, not just at mics, but in a classroom, when you go in front of someone who's been doing this for years professionally, and they give you the feedback to really help you craft what you're writing so that it can be delivered like in that, that premise, that punchline type of situation. You're not necessarily going to get that at a mic. So the classes were everything for me.
Yeah, no, plus it automatically puts you in the comedy community.
Yes.
So that's the benefit. What else did I see? You learn how to, what's the word? You learn how to, not hone your craft, stay consistent, and you learn a pattern that's needed in order to be an effective comedian. Like, okay, I need to sit down and write 10 jokes today, every day, 10 jokes, or I need to go to 5 mics a week, or whatever it is, those processes. You don't really get, when you go to mics, if you're lucky and you meet good comics, they'll pull you aside. Like I had a Kim DeShields and say, hey, do X, Y, and Z. Or I had a Debbie Baza say, oh, you got to do this. You know what I'm saying? So you might get lucky, but you don't want to live on luck if this is what you want to do, right?
Right. I agree.
Yeah, you did the smartest thing, especially the writing. The writing piece too is, you're right. I see a lot of comics just get up and wing it. And I'm like, well, we could all wing it. That's not, a comic pretends like they're winging it, but they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. A good comic is, Dave Chappelle is not just getting on stage saying, well, let me just go. Well, at this point, at his age, he might actually be doing that. But you got to put in some time for that. Like,
you do, for sure.
It's possible. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for new comedians, it is best to learn your craft and be surrounded around people who are in your craft, because then you won't have no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm around regular people who don't do comedy, they're like, oh, that's not that funny. Or they're not. I had one friend tell me, well, she told her friend that I was not that funny. I said, it's my second week. What do you want from me, bro? Like, she was dry as a log You don't even have funny in you. How dare you judge me, right? So that
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be around funny people, I think, to at first when you start to get the bone that you're going to need for silence.
Yeah, and it helps you build your voice because I think every comedian has their own voice, and who they are as a comedian. And so I think when you're in those classes, that, at least for me, it helped me develop a voice.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So you started what's that? About 4 years ago, right around when the pandemic, five maybe
Yep.
when the pandemic let up.
Right.
What finally pushed you to take the leap and say, "I'm just gonna go for this"?
Like I said, just okay. My children are 18 and 20, and as a licensed clinician, I used to have clients
Hmm.
who were like, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Holly, I have empty nest syndrome." And I don't believe in empty nest syndrome because I think when you are a mom or a parent or a caregiver, whatever, I think if you have a life outside of that,
Mm.
when your children move on, you can fully step into whatever that other chapter is. So then there's not a such thing as emptiness. So for me, like I said, my son is away at college, my daughter's getting ready to graduate high school. And so I was like, you know what? I need to start stepping into what that's going to look like 5 years from now so
Mm.
that I'm fully, active and still living life and enjoying myself. And that was like, okay, I went for that because again, I just don't believe in it. I think sometimes mothers take on that identity and they only just live for being a mom
Yeah.
and just taking care of the kids, but don't give themselves a life because at some point. We
Mm.
all hope that your children grow up to be, functional adults. And then where does that leave you? So I was like, I'm doing this for me.
Well done, well done. Because that goes for women in relationships too, in marriages. They put the whole life to that, and then that person leaves, or the marriage shifts. And because I was like, if I've been somewhere 40 years, I'd be bored if they've been doing the same thing 40 years. I'm just saying. I mean, what do you? Why aren't you doing what you love, and I do what I love, and then we get together, and we love something together, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, life can be boring, I would think, after a while, because yeah, your kids are everything to you, and so you put everything into that, and now they're gone. Of course, you're gonna be sitting around twiddling your fingers if you haven't
That's
prepared.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Preparation.
yeah. Oh wow. What's the first time that you remember making someone actually laugh, thinking, "Wait, I might actually be funny here. Hold up."
You know what? Believe it or not, it didn't happen at a class. It didn't happen at a show. I was teaching class, and my students, I'm like always joking and jovial. And I mean, and I wasn't even trying to be funny. I was just making comments because I
Mhm,
found myself to be very personable with my master level students. They're, working adults. And
mhm,
and every time I would come in, they would be cracking up like they were like my audience. And I promise you, I was not in there trying out jokes. And one of
mhm,
my students said to me, "Dr. Holly, you're really funny. I think you missed your calling." Now,
mhm.
she didn't know that I was actually, taking classes and doing a stand up because I keep, my personal life separate from, my comedy life. However, a lot of my jokes do come from my personal life. So my students didn't know or anything like that. But when she said that, I was like, oh yeah, okay. I'm going. Yeah.
Right.
Because again, she's never saw me. She never, it was just the impression I made upon her. And when she said that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Wow. And when did you know separately, like, like without a doubt, like, because the first time we're like, okay, yeah, I like this. And then you get addicted and you're like, okay. And then your ego steps in as a comedian. And now, even if you bomb, you're like, I gotta go back and get revenge, laugh revenge, right? So
Yeah.
there's things that keep you going back. But when did you know without a doubt that I am funny? I am definitely funny.
So here's what I'll say. I think every comedian is funny,
Right.
right? Because
Okay.
it take balls to get up there in front of people, whether it's at a mic or a show, to
Mhm.
do comedy. Second of all, the adjective of being funny or considered funny, I think is subjective. I
Okay.
think we all can agree that for some people, Dave Chappelle is funny. Some people don't find Kevin Hart funny, right? So for me, regardless of the audience, I think I'm funny. right? And I just always felt that way about myself, is to kind of step in a room or in this space as a comedian, a Black female comedian, like I got something to say and I think I'm funny. And believe it or not, aging and being almost 50 and talking to those Gen Xers or the late millennials who are like almost there,
Mhm.
I found my people. Those are my people.
Found your tribe. Found your tribe. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, as a Black woman in comedy, what's a lesson you've learned that you wish someone had told you sooner?
Um wow. Oh,
Mhm.
it's a couple of lessons. I think one of them is, just because you're in this space,
Mhm.
um, it doesn't make it easy. Cause I really thought this, that okay, it's saturated with like white men, and then you have Black men. And I was like, okay, well, as a woman, it should be easy me kind of navigate, because you don't see a lot of women on
Right.
shows or flyers. But now I understand why they don't, because they kind of sequesters, because it's this thing that women in general are not funny. And
Mhm.
so I think I would have just did it sooner. I'll be honest. I think I would have did it sooner,
Mhm.
and don't really kind of care about like this gender thing, because I've said this so many times, like, you don't have to have a dick to be funny. And sometimes even if you got one, you're not. You know what I mean? So so yeah, I wish I would have just did it sooner and not kind of let that kind of get into my ear, because again, I'm my biggest cheerleader and I'm my biggest supporter, and I think I'm funny, so I'm going out there and sharing it, with the audience. Um but I've been around the world and I've seen so many things that, um how can I put it, where it's just not right the way women comedians are perceived, and how they are not given chances, or if they are given chances, like what that looks like.
Mhm.
So there's a hierarchy: white men, Black men, and then, believe it or not, white women, and
Mhm.
then Black women. But the Black women kind of have to kind of fight or grind out that fourth spot for Latina, Hispanic women.
Mhm.
It's just, that hierarchy is weird, but you
Very
do what you
weird.
gotta do. Yeah.
Very weird. And you know, it's funny. Even over the black and white, the men come first, which is really weird. But I don't understand it. But the man code always goes first, believe it or not.
Yeah.
'Cause I've seen men get ahead just a little bit more. Now there are some arguments that people say, "Oh well, you comics, you females can dress all sexy." I'm like, sexy only gets you so far if you ain't
It
got no jokes.
does.
Yeah, if you ain't got no jokes, no matter how sexy you are, trust me, that audience will eat you alive. I've seen it.
Yes.
I saw a girl say, "Well, I can do it too." I was in White Plains, or I was in Hartsdale, some place that was having a comedy show, and one of the drunk audience members was like, "I can do what you guys are doing." We were like, "Could you really?" With intoxication, I don't think so. And she got up and she found out in 2 minutes that that was a bad idea. We were like, "No,
Mm.
let her, let her. Would you like it? You want to say something? You take." I had 8, but hey, I'll say 5. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you 3. Go. She couldn't make it past the first minute. They lit her up. The
Wow.
audience lit her up. Yeah, they lit her up
Wow.
because she really, really in her head, she really thought what we were doing was like anybody can do that. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
it's not that
Yeah.
easy. Really.
That's what's going around right now. And I think social media doesn't make it any better. Like
Yeah.
anybody, yeah, because you can get up and create content and be funny in that content on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, right? But that's totally different than going into a stand-up venue, not just a comedy club, but a stand-up venue, and doing a solid 15, 20, 30 minutes. That's something totally different. That requires you writing versus kind of like going off the top of your dome or impersonating or coming up with this skit. It's just something totally different. But listen, I don't know if you know this, but I learned today that
Mhm.
Madonna did a whole hour stand up. Did you know that?
I didn't know she did a whole hour. So when was this in the 80s?
No, this was probably like yesterday. I'll send you the article.
Oh, oh, recently. Okay,
Yes,
please send me that
recently.
article. Mismanagement out here in the comedy world. Okay, somebody's got to do it.
I'm
Oh,
like, okay. So yeah, Madonna,
hour?
Tisha Campbell. I'm like, okay, and
Well,
Ti
Tisha
doesn't,
Campbell, yeah, she was a comedian before. I get that,
and
but I don't get Madge. But maybe she had a funny bone that I didn't know about.
well, according to this article, Madonna and Amy Schumer have been
Oh,
working on some things for a while. Like Madonna been like kind of behind the scenes doing her thing. So I guess now she was ready to do her hour. I was like, okay. So we'll
That's,
see. Listen, I ain't knocking it. If you got the chops, I mean, go for it, right?
I'm not
Some people,
knocking it.
yeah,
Yeah.
some people switch lanes, but again, I think funny is very subjective. It's art. So there's that.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be interesting. But please send me that article, whatever you do,
I
girl.
will.
I got to see that tea. So you've talked about gatekeeping in comedy, in the comedy world. What does that really look like, and how did you push through that?
So gatekeeping is basically if you're a comedian in whatever city you're in, you're noticing that people are booking the same comedians over and over again. So for example, comedian A is booking all of their friends and just
Mhm.
rotating their friends on the same flyer. Although they know you do comedy, you've seen them at shows, other shows, you've seen them at mics, but for whatever reason, they're not giving you no play. Now, when I used to produce shows, I never looked at somebody like, "Oh, I'm booking you because you're funny." I booked shows. I mean, I booked comedians to curate an experience
Okay.
because at the end of the day, there's an audience.
Yeah.
So if I found you funny or not, it don't matter. Can you hold 15 minutes? Can you hold a solid 10? Because guess what? There's somebody in the audience who is going to find you funny. So for me, I never looked at it like, "Oh, I like you, I don't like you," or "You're a guy, you're a girl," or "You're not funny." I didn't, and that didn't matter. If you were a comedian when I was producing shows, I didn't care about booking you at all because again, I want to create
Right.
an experience and let people see like there's different type of comedians and how they tell jokes, right?
Right.
Um so for me, I get booked in Philly, but I travel more on the road doing comedy than I actually do in Philly. And that's okay. That's
Wow.
okay. Because it's kind of like being on a playground. I remember my mom telling me as a kid, everybody's not your friend and people don't have to play with you. And
Mm,
so by
mm.
me being a comedian, don't nobody got to put me on their show, and I respect that. And respectfully, I don't want to be on everybody's show, right? Because I know my comedy voice and the type of jokes that I tell. Now, early starting on, you definitely want to try to get on as much shows as you can. But now that I'm a little bit older
Right.
and have a little bit more experience, I'm so good. And so breaking through that to answer your point is that when nobody is booking you and you don't have the ability to travel,
Mm.
keep hitting those mics or collaborate with another comedian that you know and start your own room because I've had my own mic room. I've curated and done shows between here, Baltimore, New York. I've done different things so that when nobody was giving me a chance, I gave myself a chance, right?
Right. Right.
And so that's how I push through it. And believe it or not, when people see that, then it's like they'll circle back around, and then that's up to you if you want to, do anything with them. But I broke through it that way. So yeah, it's a lot of gatekeeping that way, where you'll
Wow.
see again the same people in the same flyers, or it's like I remember guys, who produce shows, he was like he only put one woman on at a time.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
it
torture.
it is. I've seen it where I've known female comedians to be on the show and the guy who produced the show won't put them on a flyer. I mean, there's the stories are just endless and disgusting, but yeah,
Mm.
sometimes you got to kind of step out and create your own opportunities or collaborate with other people who are kind of having the same experience and have that create your own opportunities and then from there see where it go. But that's how I got through it.
Yeah, no, that's that creating your own opportunity is a very big thing. I see who is a comedian, Luz Michelle, out of Connecticut, Westchester. I see Kim DeShields out of Massachusetts, Boston. I see somebody,
Yeah.
Nicole Comedy. She be on everything. I was a girl. When do you stop, girl? When do you got a job too? How you get a job and you do this? That girl stay on a show. So I commend anyone who makes their own table, because that's really time right now. You have to know how to make your own table. That's the only way you're gonna eat.
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe in okay, I'll say this. The traditional way about doing comedy is just gone. That ain't coming back. Like the Def Jam days,
Nope.
Comic View days, those days are not coming back because we have social media. Nobody's looking at a tape. Nobody's asking you to send in, your 8x10, photo. Like
Yeah.
those days are not coming back.
Nope.
So for me, my trajectory is not going to look anything of normal or whatever that how even and how that's defined, right? I'm going about it the way that just works for me. And I encourage anybody, like, go about it the way it works for you.
Right. Right. No, you have to. But just go about it.
Yes,
Some
for
people sit
sure.
around and wait and be like, do 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 do. I was like,
Yeah.
girl, you ain't never gonna book a show like that. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
Yep. Go around to the cafes, go around to the restaurants, pick their slowest, ask them what their slowest night is. Go sit before you ask them what does their slowest night look like. So if you don't see nobody on Tuesday nights, nobody, and you can bring 13 comics to go and do a mic. Hello, you think they're gonna say
Yep.
no? That's how you get it popping.
Amen.
And just tell
Amen.
them we'll do a show once a month, and charge people maybe $5, whatever you want to charge them. I don't know, but there's always a way, and that's the good thing about 2026 is like there is no excuse. Nobody,
None.
everybody can get it. You want to make a film, you can make a film. You don't need a big old thing in production. If you're clever enough and you put your mind to it, you can. Man, anything's possible for us comedians. Anything. So
Mm-hmm.
stay writing and stay doing your thing.
Yes.
But let me see. How did you make that jump? Because this, a lot of comments transition. How did you make that jump from performing your own, performing to writing your own screenplays?
So I mean, the earliest I can remember, and I always tell this story, like I've been a writer probably since the fourth grade. So I've always written like short stories and things like that. So even before I started doing stand-up,
Mhm.
I've always wrote characters or wrote like I would say co-opens or just like scripts. I've always had some stuff like stacked up, stuff on but not notebooks, but the index cards. I've
Yeah.
always just had stuff going. And so for me, once I got into the space, I took classes in stand up. I also did all 4 levels of improv a couple of times. And then
Mm.
I also took some screenwriting classes,
Oh,
right?
nice.
So everything that I'm doing, I've took classes on to help me, like you said, sharpen those skills. And
Mm.
so all those index cards I had stacked up for years and years and years. Once I got into those classes, I use those as part of my projects to really get them going. Shout out to BCC with that. I took some classes here at the university. Like I took what I had and really, really made it sharp. And so I'm the type of writer where I can take one of my jokes and I could turn it into a script.
Mm.
Or I can reverse it where I got a script and I can create a whole set just based off that script alone. So for me, I've just always been a writer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Good for you. Good for you. That's me too. I'm so happy. I didn't know my gift early on. I just kept writing. And now I've seen like, oh, that turned into that. And it turned into, I wish I would have known earlier, but I think God does everything in time.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a reason, so
Hmm.
it's all good. Tell us about Widow's Wishes. Like, where did that story come from?
So, believe it or not, there is a clinical term for women who wished to be a widow. So I've had
Oh,
I had a couple of clients without, breaking confidentiality where they basically couldn't get out of a marriage. It wasn't like, oh, they were being held there against their will. So that wasn't the case, but it's just like, being divorced and having a tradition or believing in the faith or being raised a certain way, divorce is shunned upon. So
mhm.
they would just be like, I wish she was dead. And I'm
Right.
like, wow, okay. So that's kind of how Widow Wishes kind of came about. So I have 3 women
Mhm.
who are basically having widow wishes because their marriages are basically horrible,
Mhm.
right? And they didn't see it coming, but each one of them have their own story, their own plot as into like what makes their marriage not so great.
Mhm.
The men that they're married to, unfortunately, they are narcissists.
Huh.
Um, and they're trying to work it out, and they all go to the same therapist, but don't know that they're going to the same therapist. But that's primarily much it. So you have these 3 women who are wishing to be widows,
Mhm.
and it's it's a dramedy, but there's some psycho thriller in there. There is some crime in there. Um, yeah,
Oh, I
it's
wish I would have
crazy.
had the trailer for that one. Darn it. Oh man, where can we watch that?
So what I'm doing now, I just joined a comedy collective here, Camden Comedy Collective. Shout out! And so we got a studio. We finally got some cameras going. So I'm looking to start shooting that in the fall.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the very least, the cold open. I wanna shoot that.
That's nice. Okay, good, good. Yeah. So I was wondering because sometimes when you do when we do the festivals, it's okay just to give you a script, but sometimes they want an actual trailer.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So, yep. All of my, and that was another thing. Again, I'm writing these screenplays, I'm writing these scripts. I entered in all these competitions because in my mind, again, I'm gonna always be my number one supporter, but I also it wasn't seeking validation, but I wanted to get feedback. And so
Yes.
that's what it meant for me when I entered in a lot of screenplay competitions and see if I got something. How can I
Right.
tweak this? Is this good? Is this not? And there are a lot of times I didn't place or runner up, but I started placing a lot and I was like, okay, I got something.
Exactly.
And so yeah. And I was like, okay. So now it's like you said, it's just a matter of just like filming that thing. I'm not good with like editing or phone or nothing like that, but I
That's what
finally,
you hire a crew for.
yep, I finally got some people. So I'm just like you said, on God's timing. I
Yes.
believe that He gives us our visions, He gives us our dreams, and
And
it's
you
up
know who
to us.
could play that girl? The one where the girl okay, let me see if I got this right. Oh, I can't remember. No, that one is which one's reality? The other one. Wait, let me see if I got it right. Okay, so reality is no, not reality. Something. Where did
Widow's wishes.
Widow's Wishes? You know who could play the girl you have on the cover? I just thought of it. Guess
So
who?
the girl on the cover is just actually an image of a
Okay.
woman in
Oh, okay.
mourning. She's just a woman in mourning until I
Okay.
can get
There's
like a
someone that looks
better.
like her. There's someone that looks like
Oh, okay, yeah, she's
Drea.
not.
Drea. That girl Drea
Oh,
on
okay.
that reality show looks just like her. I thought that's who it was.
Okay. Yeah, she's not
No,
she's
yeah.
actually not somebody who
Vicious.
I put on like in a part of it. She's just
I
an
got
image.
you. I got you.
And so if I gave you some comparables, I would say have you ever seen Harlem?
Harlem.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm the
That's
worst.
the show. That's the show with like Megan Good
Oh.
and like her three girlfriends. It's a good show. It comes on Amazon, but it's done. They only gave it like 2 seasons. But anyway, Angie's one of her friends.
Okay.
And so Angie is like one of the I would say Angie, that big personality, she's like one of the ladies who is a character I've written for. Then I have somebody who's like very mild and like meek manner, very young. So all the ladies are very colorful and different. You know, I'm a Gen Xer, so I think about like Women of Brewster's Place. I don't know if
Right.
do you remember that growing up? Right. So my characters are, I think they're a mix of modern and like class. On what you're going to get when it comes to my characters. This is not like, and this is no diss to Tyler Perry, but they're not those type characters.
Right. Good for you. Okay. I can't wait to see that girl. Let us know when you do that.
Oh no, you will hear about it. Oh no. As soon as we get that thing going, you definitely listen, it's gonna be out there because there's so many different film festivals that I want to,
Yes.
get out there. Yeah, even just with the co-open, like now that I have it on paper and I've gotten, reviews from like just my screenplays, now is really time to put a visual with that thing. So yeah, but God's timing though. God's timing. I don't
Is it a dramedy? It's a dramedy?
Widow's Wishes, yeah. All of my screenplays are dramedies. I always try to tie comedy in there in some way.
Okay.
I always try to tie because I think the story plots can be heavy for some people. It might even be triggering for some people, but I want especially Black and brown people to figure out like these are our daily experiences, but there's still a way to laugh.
Right.
You can mourn, you can go to therapy, but I still think there's a way to laugh and have joy, even in the midst of like darkness. You see what I'm saying? So Nivea is my main character, and she's married to a guy who he's sleeping with all the women around the town. She knows of it, but she really, really wants to keep her marriage because they are a power couple in this town. But he's very dismissive of her. He's very detached. He doesn't want to be intimate with her. And she's just like, okay, but I'm still gonna make this thing work because she has an image to uphold, right?
Right.
But at the same time, Nivea also deserves happiness. She also deserves joy, and so having that character, I think many women maybe could resonate with that. And then at the same time, now they can see how she can get her joy and how she can also laugh through all of that pain. Because a lot of times we just sit in our pain, we self-medicate, but we don't really know how to still have a life or joy even through that darkness.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Well, tell us about Reality is Onto Something. I like the title.
Thank you. I call it Riots for short. So Riots is kind of a excuse me, a mockery of me coming into comedy. So it's like part of it is like me, and then a part of it is just like not related to me at all, but just different little clusters of life experiences. So it's basically me being a therapist and just getting tired of just, doing that as a 9 to 5, because I'm really, really wanting to be a comedian or be an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically don't, I'm being tugged between, do I stay in this field? Cause I'm really been helping a lot of people, or do I go and pursue my dreams? But something traumatic happens. I won't say what, something traumatic happens. And I end up one night at a bar, to kind of drown my sorrows. And at the same time, it was an open mic.
Oh,
And I decided to get up, and I did pretty decent. And then I got like kind of hooked from there. I have a best friend who is who supports me in doing it, but she's also living with her own traumatic experiences, and she ends up being a social worker who deals drugs.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you kind of got like a little bit of Breaking Bad in there. You kind of got a little bit of I would say Curb Your Enthusiasm. So it's pretty juicy.
What
it's
is
pretty
that?
juicy.
Feed the poor, but I need that fur. It's like what?
Yeah, it's a lot going on in there, but it works very well. So like I said, just the reality of it is we're living in society where therapists, teachers, social workers are not being paid a lot.
No.
But the cost of living is going up. And it's like, well, what do? I need health insurance. I need these things. Oh, and I just lost my job. What do I do? So, my homegirl, her name's Selena, she was like, fuck it, I'm about to just go start selling drugs. Now, I don't know she's selling drugs. Like, she's all undercover with it, but she got to eat and she got insurance, and she taking care of, her abuela. And so she's like, hey, I got to do something. But it's just, you're seeing how our lives started one way, and then they kind of separate but become parallel, because we're doing some things to kind of survive. But again, out of just the traumatic experiences that life can totally bring you. So again, finding a way to really just laugh at that stuff.
Okay, that sounds good. Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds really good. I can't wait. So I before I show you a picture, I want to say you won awards, like the best female screenwriter from Chicago Script Awards. What did the recognition mean for you?
That was like, again, because it's kind of like you're sitting on gold and you believe it in it, and you know that you got something that's amazing. But when you put it out there and then this award comes to like solidify that thing, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so then, but then it was like, well, I did pay to get into this competition. So then I started, but once I started doing more and more, and I was still winning awards for the same script, I was like, okay, no, this isn't imposter syndrome. This is more than just me paying to be a part of this. This is me really having something good. So having that as the best like female screenwriter, what?
Goodness, girl. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind of hard to put that in words, but that was just,
I know the feeling. Especially in comedy. It's like, that's not something people know that we get awards for. So it's even bigger because I can't explain it. It's like it is like a validation source. You could say that. And it's okay because we work hard, but it's not often that we expect anybody to see it.
Yes.
So,
Yes. So yes, the recognition definitely means a lot. Like I said, it's not necessarily the validation, because I validate myself, but it was the recognition to say like, other people can see what I'm seeing when they read this, that this script is really a good script. So that was amazing.
That's big. That's as big as it gets. So tell me this: how did Dr. Holly become Dr. Holly? And where does the sexy shrink come from?
So I don't never use my last name unless I'm like going to somewhere on an airplane or cashing a check. I don't use my last name at all.
Okay.
believe it or not, my last name isn't really my last name. I'm real. I'm not a ghost, but just going it's like going through like my family's like timeline. The
Right.
person who me and my mother were named after was not actually our father or grandfather. So there's that story.
Gotcha.
Which I'll probably write some jokes or in a screenplay about later, but whatever. So I don't use that last name at
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
So I just go by Dr. Holly. I've always gone by Dr. Holly, especially in the workplace, because for me, it feels more personable versus, somebody being really stuffy. And I'm not a stuffy person. I'm very
Yeah.
personable and sociable. So that's where the Dr. Holly comes from. Now, as far as the sexy shrink, so
The sexy shrink. I saw you with them kitten heels, girl.
yes, honey. So for me, I think about like Melanie Camacho on like Def Comedy Jam. She always came out in the thigh high boots. I always
Okay.
think about like some more, like the women who paved the way, always in some regard dressed up and just look sexy.
Yes. Okay.
Right. And
Okay.
so nowadays you'll see comedians, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not judging. They just kind of
Yeah.
wear whatever. And
Yeah.
so when I came, you remember Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac, they wore suits. I mean,
Yeah.
they put on them clothes, and so did the
Yes.
women who perform comedy. So for me, I just
Yeah.
always try to keep it sexy. Now, sexy for some people, like you said, showing more flesh and things like that. For me, it's just holding true to what I feel sexy when I perform. And 9 times out of 10, that could be thigh high boots, it could be a dress, it could be a skirt, but just always putting that thing on and feeling sexy within, and then coming out on the stage and
Right.
looking
Right.
sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
that's
like
where
to
that came
dress up
from.
too. I like to dress up. I like to look nice because I get so sick of seeing jeans. I'm like, oh, God, how much denim can you have, people? Can we ban denim on stage, please? It's like because I'm used to the old Rat Pack, Jerry Lewis and them, and Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, and I mean everybody had suits.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Nobody came out in no jeans. What?
Yeah.
What is this? This is not
Yeah.
mine. So
Yeah.
I love that you have the sexy shrink. I like that. I have a surprise for you. Surprise picture I want you to tell me about. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. I
Yes.
hope I got permission to use it.
Let's
Ready?
see. Yeah.
Boom. Who was that?
Oh, Conan.
Who was that? What was this about? Please
Oh
explain.
my God, Conan.
What's up about this picture?
Conan, I have met a lot of famous people, but
Uh-huh.
Conan was such a sweetheart. So
Um,
I'm in LA.
yeah.
Me and my husband, we're in West LA. We're trying to go find something to eat.
Okay.
And we ended up at this restaurant, and I see all these people from SNL, but I wanted to fuck with Conan.
All right, right. Oh,
I
man.
got scripts on me, but I'm like, this is gonna be too on the nose if I go be like, Conan, read my script. I did not give him my script, but I
Right.
was like, let me at least get a picture. So he's
Okay.
sitting with, looks like he's just having a lunch meeting, and I was like, Conan, and he was like, hi, and I was like,
I can see him. I can see him right just like he knows you, right?
That's what it was. It felt like me and him were just lost friends catching up, and
Oh,
so I was like, oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you? He was like, sure, have a seat. He
oh,
let me sit with him. And
really?
he was, yes, we're sitting. We're not saying we're sitting. I'm sitting with him at his table. And he's like, what's your name? What do you do? I was like, I'm Dr. Holly. I'm a comedian. I'm in LA doing comedy. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, I just had to come over here and see you. He was like, oh, please don't tell my wife that you had to come over and see me, because I'm not even like supposed to be here, but I'm having lunch. I'm like, it's all good with me. And so he had a friend like take the picture, but he like talked to me, had little, like little banter back and forth, but he was a sweetheart.
Darn it.
Oh,
Why don't you have me on your show one night?
pretty much. But the way they doing late night, I don't know what's going on these days. It's just
I know.
weird.
It is.
Again, coming up, the thing was to be on Jay Leno, Johnny
Yeah.
Carson, right? But
Yes.
it's not like that. No, like everything is just,
No.
yeah,
No,
everything's
even
changed.
even the people being on what's his name? Jimmy Fallon, you would think like normally when you're on Costner's couch, you're made, you're done, you are in. Now you can get on a show and still not be going anywhere, especially
Yeah.
women. I was like, but she was on late night. What happened? And everybody's like, I don't know. It was
Yep.
like, what? So it has changed. And if you don't know how to hustle it, it will be.
Period.
It
Yeah,
will be.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
But at least I think he'll remember you when your publishers send something, or when you make your album and his debut. That's okay. We'll be working on that.
I hope so, because he was nice. D.L. Hughley was nice. He gave me a piece of advice, and I was just looking like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "Okay."
Really?
Yeah, D.L. Hughley was nice. Uh, uh, Michael Che. Oh, he was a
Michael
sweetheart.
Che.
Yes,
Now see, he's an unusual one. He got into comedy just doing like something like 7 nights a week and did it in 2 years. That's unheard of.
it is unheard of, but he put that grind in. So that's kind of like, yeah, that grind matched where he's at right now. Yeah. But if I lived in New York, I'd probably do the same thing. I don't. So again, I have to use what I have around me to do it. But he was, oh my God, he was a sweetheart. He was a sweetheart.
That's awesome. That's all. I can't believe you walked into a whole cast. Like, it's like gold. That's gold for a comedian.
Yeah, I've even I mean, some people from SNL. I've done improv with a young lady who's on SNL. Her sister. I've done improv with her. We were down in New Orleans, so I'm meeting people like here and there. But yeah, it's just Conan was a sweetheart.
Yeah, that's amazing. He looks like such a sweetheart. I mean, and that picture, he looks so genuine. You know.
Oh yeah, he was. He was
nice. I love my little gingers. Sorry, Ginger. I'm sorry. I should have said that. I love my brunettes. I love my blondes. I love my whatever. I love you all. I love you. Anyway, so you performed everywhere from New York Comedy Fest to San Francisco Sketch Fest. Which stage surprised you the most?
Between those two? I would say San Francisco Sketch Fest, because I just think California is just such a stark difference than New York, right? And so I think that's kind of like, without saying, but it was just surprising because it was literally like a month of just workshops, like back to back to back to back to back to back. Or is it like 2 weeks? But it was a minute, and you're in there. Everything kicks off in January versus like in New York. You got stages through like Manhattan, Brooklyn, and whatever. Of course, Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
And I don't know. I can navigate New York better. I felt more comfortable. And even though I love the Bay Area, it was just different for me to just kind of like navigate it. And that's not a bad way. It's just that I'm really just so used to the East Coast.
Right. That makes sense. Wow. Wow. What's your favorite place you've ever performed? What state or city?
Oh my God.
Or country.
Okay, so Stockholm, Sweden was the shit. I ate so good there. But if I have
to ask you that,
yes.
Did they give you fish?
I'm sorry.
Did you eat a lot of fish?
I didn't actually. I didn't do the fish and chips. I didn't want to go eating what they do in Europe. Okay. And they kind of, they consider themselves Scandinavian. That's north of like, the UK. So they have their own thing going up there. And the food was seasoned. It was delicious. It was so good. And I just ate.
Food was seasoned. Hold up.
Oh, I mean,
breaking news. It was seasoned for real.
For real.
There are a lot.
No, you can go there and eat very well. There are a lot of like Mexicans and Jamaicans there, believe it or not.
What?
Yes,
I believe that.
Yes. They eat good over there. So in the States, oh God. So when it comes to cities, I love Detroit, Portland, and I would say Portland, Oakland. I would say those three are like my top.
Oakland, I heard about Oakland.
I'm a foodie, so these cities I can really go and just like eat.
Okay.
And I'm a thrifter, so Portland hands down is the best city
girl,
you're gonna find.
I'm a thrifter. I love it.
And where have you thrift like in other like cities?
I'll find it. I'll find wherever it is that I will find it. I could be in, I don't care if it's London, I could be in Paris, I could be in New York. I don't care where it's at. First question is, excuse me, where's your thrift store? Oldest thrift shop here. I want the oldest one, see? And I like to do it around certain areas because that's where you get the good stuff at.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know the tidbit about the oldest thrift store, but I do know about certain areas. When I went to Stockholm, I definitely found me a couple thrift stores. I came back with some nice little stuff.
I
So
know
I'm
you
excited
did.
about that. Yeah. But Portland has like this strip, and I forgot the name of the street, but it's just
Mhm.
miles and miles and miles, and it's just nothing but thrift stores. And
Yes.
it's so affordable. It was so bad. I sent 2 boxes of clothes home.
What?
Yeah.
Girl, 2 boxes? Oh,
Yeah.
girl, you really thrifting in these streets.
Yeah,
I just,
I
I'm
be
giving you
hitting them
one
up.
special piece.
No, 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 because they were just so affordable. I'm talking about jeans $7, dresses $7. I
Okay,
mean,
that's a good thrift.
affordable.
That's really a good thrift. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Have you ever been to Domsey's in Brooklyn?
No,
Have you
but
ever
I
been to what's the other one? Tokyo 7 on Avenue A and like
oh,
girl, that girl, you can get a real Chanel jacket for like $300, a Valentino if you really know how to look. Yeah, you can. If you know how to
oh
look,
yeah,
and real Boga bag for like it depends. If it has something wrong with it that you can't tell, it might be $75. If it's not if it's at its full cost, it might be $200. But that's still better than 1,000 for people who can afford
girl, we gonna have to link up. I can come to New York for a
that.
day and just cause Brooklyn got good food, so I can come and eat and thrift. Come
Yeah,
on now.
that's for sure. September, I think I'll be thrifting in September. We'll see.
Okay,
I will
okay,
definitely let you know for sure. Um,
okay.
so tell me another thing. What was opening for T Murph at the Detroit House of Comedy like?
Okay, so it was a two-sided coin. It was good and bad. The good thing was I was at Detroit House of Comedy, which they
Mhm.
believe it or not, when I was back in Detroit, they don't have it no more. They turned it into something else.
Okay.
But I got to meet T Murph, and I was asking him about his trajectory, right? The things that
Mhm.
he was doing, and he was really like very helpful. We talked and things like that. But I also gave him his space to get in his zone because he had to do his show. The downside of it was we were supposed to do his show 2 weeks before the actual day we did it, but he was filming.
Okay.
And so he had to reschedule that date. And do you know, he rescheduled it on the day that Martin Lawrence came into Detroit.
No,
Yes.
girl.
So our turnout was not as big because everybody's down the street seeing Martin Lawrence.
What? You're like, where the audience at?
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
Hope
But
you get some milk and cookies. No, that's really not.
okay. Yes, they was. But I'm
Oh,
not even mad at it though, because at the end of the day, you have those type of experiences when you're a comedian. You have
yes,
them. And I
yes,
and I got it. And I'm grateful that I've had that, because whether it's 5 or 50 or 500, you still go out and put on a good show.
that's it, and that's all. It don't matter how many is. And I always say sometimes the people that were meant to be there are there, so it makes it even better show. So yeah, that's amazing that you did that. This experience is under your belt.
Yes, and nobody can take it away.
Nobody, absolutely not. Wow.
Yep.
T Murph. Wow. Let's see. Have you ever? This is off the dome, but have you
Okay.
ever opened for anyone that we don't know about that surprised you didn't know it was going to be a big comic you were opening for?
No,
Okay.
I
So
haven't.
you deal with-
So what happens is I am my own agent.
Mhm,
And I will email and call and DM
mhm.
comedy clubs if there's somebody coming into town who I would like to open up for.
Okay.
I didn't know that they were going to put me to open up for T Murph. It's just that my days that I was going to be in Detroit had aligned up with his dates that he was going to be there at that venue.
Okay.
I didn't care who it was. I just
Right.
wanted the opportunity, right? And so I had that. Um I think what I've had more recently within the last, I would say, year, is that I've been having more opportunities to headline, and that has been amazing because it has allowed me to really sit and really get in there and just write and practice, and make mistakes, write and practice, and perform. And it has been great because I just love meeting other comedians, especially in different cities. So, haven't been able to open for anybody yet, but hey, when opportunity comes, it comes, and if not, I'm really, really okay. I'm flowing with this thing.
Right.
Being a comedian, whatever God has for me, I'm flowing with it and just being grateful as the opportunities come. Really.
That's it. That's it. I see you on flyers all the time anyway. So somebody's hiring you.
Yeah.
between you and Nicole, I'm like, these girls stay out here. Only comedy's there because that's a lot. That's good. You guys, I mean, I could think of several of you guys. I'm like, so what are you talking about? There's no shows because this one, she got one tomorrow, the next day. I mean, I saw your roster. You're pretty much booked up for a minute. So, I mean, homegirl's out here doing the thing, y'all. She's doing it. Doing it. I love it. So you brought your comedy to Canada, Mexico, and Europe. How does an audience change from country to country?
That's an excellent question. So when I was in Sweden, for an example, they know Trump and the whole atrocity that he is. So when I had jokes around that, they understood it and they could laugh, right?
Okay.
But then there were some jokes that were really kind of specific to us as a country that it may not get, or some people may not understand because it's just a cultural difference, right? So I think that's what matters. And now I know that because I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna do my set, and because we're all having a human experience. Exactly. You may not be Black, but you are a woman, right? Or right, you may not be, living in America, but I'm almost 50. So there's people in the audience who are also kind of close to that age. So I think when I kind of tell like my life experiences, there's people that can relate to that. But when I kind of tell the jokes about our stuff that's happening in the US, depending on what it is, some countries may not, because they don't, I guess, experience that. So it's like a cultural shift when you go to country to country.
Yeah, I noticed that too when I performed in London at the Top Secret Comedy Club. And some other places, that what it is, and this is why you see, you're a therapist, so I'm sure you are a great, what do you call it, assessor of people in 5 minutes. You walk in, you see the room, and like, okay. But what I do is before I do any show, but especially a foreign show where I've never been, I make sure I show up. I try to show up like an hour early, if I can, at least a half an hour early, at least, because then I can see the people filter in. And I can listen to their conversations. And then I know based on their conversations, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. So I got to tweak this. I got to turn that here, move this here. Cause that like, I have a joke about the subway. Let me see, in New York, what was the joke? So one joke would not go, well, it goes over. So everyone has a tube or a subway. They call it the tube in London. And in New York, they call it the subway. So it's a universal joke, but I realized in one audience that I got to get to know the vernacular here. So New York City was, riding this, I forgot how I said the joke, riding the subway. I forgot how I said the joke. Jesus, Lord. You hear, those announcements you hear. Ours, New York says, see something, say something, right? They want you to snitch. Well, I got to London and found out they say, see it, say it, sort it. They want me to work while I'm on vacation. How am I working? Right. So I didn't know at first. The first time I did it, I didn't know to say tube. So it's like it could be just a little glitch for a minute. Luckily, I had some young kids from Germany, 20-something-year-olds, who got it and actually came up and asked for my Instagram. So I was really surprised at that because they got everything I said. But there were other people that were my age who were like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, I forgot. I'm a young 55 plus ish divided by 4. Right. So my age, y'all ain't doing it. Y'all tried to trick me, didn't you? But you get what I'm saying. So what you got to know, if I go to Japan, I have to know the vernacular of Japan. I got to take my jokes and figure out what is it in this that would in Japan would be different. That's what I learned. So
yeah, no, you're right. Whenever I do shows, I definitely always scope out the room first and do and kind of gauge when the comedians before me go up how the audience are reacting to certain things that say are topics that may relate to what I have as jokes. The shows that I did in Sweden, it was an improv and stand-up fest.
Oh, nice.
So it was improv people going before me, which is of course improv. So I couldn't really gauge as a stand-up when I went out. And so I have this joke about needing health insurance and I ain't got no job. Like, so if something like breaks on me, I'm totally fucked. Now for them, they're not laughing because they get free health insurance. So they don't understand the concept of not having insurance or not being able to afford insurance, they're looking like, wait. Now, the girls who perform improv for me from Chicago, they understood the joke.
Right.
But
Right.
the people who are actually from Stockholm was looking at me like,
You know
and
why? Yeah, you would have had to switch it to, looks like I'm going to have to move to Sweden to get insurance or something.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was able to kind of like say some other stuff to kind of draw them back so they can understand it, because it hit me then when I said it. And I kind of like made fun of them, like, oh yeah, you know, like, oh yeah, I forgot y'all over here, y'all got the good life. I forgot what I said at the moment, but just kind of bringing it back, because it hit me like, oh, they have free health insurance. They don't know this struggle.
And they pay you when you have your baby. They take good care of you. Oh, they good.
Right, exactly.
They have the best, I think. Don't they have the best plan?
Yeah, it's between them and Norway.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. They never leave. You never hear. Listen, when I go visit other countries, I never see them in anybody's country.
No,
they stay home. Okay,
they are living good up there. So yeah, but that was a really good question. So for any comedians who don't know, like if you ever do, comedy in other places, especially other countries, yeah, I learned that. That was a good experience, though.
Yes, know your audience, and especially we always do that anyway as a comic. I think most of us go check out things 15 minutes before, 20 minutes for half an hour, whatever. But especially if you're in another country, you better know. I personally, I sit down and just listen to people talk, because then I'm going to know what type of, because usually they start filling in at least half an hour before the show, and I just listen, and sometimes they don't even know I'm the comedian. But I just listen, and I see, okay, this one's going to be hard. That one's just, I get to see the personalities, and okay, I know what I'm dealing with. So now I got to tweak it according to that audience. So it's fun though. I think it's fun. And it also teaches us that laughter is universal. So that if it's a well-constructed joke, pretty much they will catch it. And if they don't, they'll catch up.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, they'll catch up. So I love it. What else? So you were also a juror on Divorce Court. What was that experience like?
I wasn't a juror. I was actually I was the plaintiff or the defendant. I don't even remember, but I was one of the two.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it. I said the wrong word. Sorry, guys.
Oh no. You know what? I'm thinking you some other because I was on 2 court shows. So the juror on Divorce Court, I was with I forgot her name, Star, I think it is. That was really fun, but it was different because it was during the pandemic. So I didn't get to go in the studio. It was Zoom court, believe it or not. But I did go, Miss Pat's settles it, and we were in the studio, and that was
I saw that.
Yeah, that was fun.
What was the case over again? I forgot. Was it rent?
No, expenses. Me and another comedian on the road splitting expenses. And yeah, it was a mess.
That's a hot mess. It's like, you paying for gas? Yes, because I'm driving and I got the car. Okay, you need a vehicle to get there. I can imagine that. It must have been funny. Did it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. How'd you book that?
Actually, I didn't. If I'm not looking for opportunities for myself, I'm a part of so many different like newsletters for comedians.
Okay.
I get newsletters that come to me, or I'm not on Facebook, but a friend of mine actually happens to be in Facebook, and I think she's in a comedy group, and she saw like an advertisement for it, and she forwarded it to me. Wow. So I was like, I'm gonna see if they'll take my case. Listen, it was just a shot, and I took my shot, and they said, okay, come to Atlanta.
See, I wasn't sure if they were fake or not. Not fake, but sometimes they hire comedians like Wendy Williams show. They used to hire us to do the
no. Yeah. These are actual cases that are happening between the 2 people that are on the show, and they get to present it to see, like, if Miss Pat is who favor she was going to rule in. Neither one of us. Well, I didn't win my case, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I saw some of it, and I was like, oh my God, this is a real thing going on here. But sometimes they're funny. Like
they are. They are.
Are they really gonna be taking their mother's taking the daughter to court? like, yes, I'm going to get my. And then they go kiss and hug and make up. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, Miss Pat. Yeah, She's an amazing. She's an amazing.
Wow. Okay. So what's next for you? Any new screenplays, specials, or projects that you're excited about?
So as I mentioned, I joined the Camden Comedy Collective. So basically, it's a collective of a whole bunch of comedians who do stand-up improv. They screenplay, they act, they do so much, and collectively we just create programming. So it can be sketches. It could be now I'm coming in and to kick off my screenplay. So of course I'll still do the stand-up and travel as such, but now I'm trying to shift in getting some, proof of concept, some visuals so I can
Mhm.
start, getting on the road for film festivals now.
Okay.
I really
Okay.
want to go heavy into that space in 2007 because the screenplays are there. I have about 4 screenplays already written.
Okay.
And between Widow's Wishes and Riots, I already have about 8 episodes already written out for season if they got picked up for a season.
Okay.
So I'm
Wow.
ready for those. I have
Mhm.
another one called Open Path. Um,
Okay.
Again, I'm written up to like 8 episodes for all 3 of my screenplays. I have a short film that I've written. So it's just a matter of now just getting that proof of concept. Once again, the proof of concept, putting it somewhere out there. And I ain't afraid of Tubi. I'll let that thing sit on Tubi and just tell y'all, look, go and support me because I'm here.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, comedy has been great to me. God has been good to me and let me thrive in this space.
Hmm.
But it's not, my ending point. Comedy has been a means to an ends, which is me being, a screenplay writer and, director and really getting in there and um making my television, these are television shows. I really want them to like thrive, and a lot of them are really women centered.
Right.
I have male cast, of course, but I've my stories are all women centered.
Right.
I
Good
think
for
that
you.
yeah, I just remember growing up and having television shows that were women centered, and I think that's not the case anymore.
Nope. We need more women centered. So thank you. We appreciate you. Give you a applause. We need that for real because everything's male centered, and they keep using the same actresses over and over again. Like we were talking about with comedy, they're doing it in acting too. It's like, why? Can we get somebody else, please? Please.
Yeah, or they're rebooting movies from the like late 80s, early 90s. Stop rebooting them, and the reboots are trash. Like
That's what they
stop.
want. They want that money. That's why residual. That's what that's about.
Yeah, but
For them, not the actual artists, but for the studios. That's it's crazy.
I
Crazy.
know. I just think that there are so many people like myself who are talented who just need the opportunity that have good content,
Mm-hmm. Right.
versus trying to reboot something that a lot of people, especially at this age, had never even heard of because they were not even born.
Right.
Right. And the reboots are just never, I have not seen a reboot that I was just like, okay, this is good.
Right.
No shade to Eddie Murphy, but I didn't care for it coming to America because
Right.
part 2, or, I'm like, come on, some stuff you just gotta let it go. But
Okay.
um yeah, that's where I'm leaning towards just really going into that. Those are the projects that I'm excited about, getting these screenplays from paper to now TV.
That's it. Good for you. I might see you in the festival world because I've got 14. I'm working on 3 done. So
Okay, good.
we'll be seeing you out here in the street. My short got an award from LA Film and Documentary. So that not an
Nice.
award, excuse me, a recognition. We'll say that,
Okay.
which was good
Okay.
for the first time. I just did it on a whim and said, "You're going to submit," because I'm always fearful of giving my work out. So I said, "Just do it, just do it." So I did it, and I was like, "Oh, I got a response back." I was surprised that so
Yeah,
that's
do the copyright and be a part of one of
well,
the
no, I
artist
always do that.
guilds. Yeah,
Always.
yeah, and be one of the artist guilds, and then just put that shit out there and see where it goes, because you just never know. If we hold on to it, it's like, well, who's gonna see if we hold on to it? I ain't afraid of YouTube either. If I gotta I'm not on TikTok, but if I gotta drop that joint on TikTok, I just want it out there so people can really see something different. Because what we got
Yes.
now,
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Byron Allen just bought out something that's like a new YouTube type of thing. I forgot what it's called. He bought one of the Reddit or something he bought that he's going to make it into the new. Now this is alleged. Go look it up before I tell you
Okay.
more. but it's going to make it into the new. It's going to be like a new streaming type platform.
Okay.
So, I'm excited about that. And then there's an actor that came up with another platform for vertical dramas and stuff. Angel Network or something, Angel or something like that's one, and then there's another one. So there's so many venues. Like it's not just one. There's so many now. Roku,
Yes.
there's no excuse. So whatever you got, if God
I'm
put it
good.
on
Yeah. I don't need to be on Netflix, HBO. Would that be great? Yeah, but now there's so many platforms and they need content. I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and start filming, and I'm gonna see what it do.
That's it. And I'm sure it'll do something because you put your mind and your heart to it. So I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Being here today, Dr. Holly. Gosh, I can't believe time went so fast. I appreciate you for being here. And guys, hey, that's Dr. Holly, everybody. Screenwriter, comedian, and proof that you can be smart, sassy, and still bring the house down.
Hello.
So, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And guys, if you laughed even one time during this episode, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs a laugh. And we'll see you next week with an author next week. All right, next Sunday, 4 p.m. So make sure you are here. Okay, guys, and I want to say hi before I go to my audience out there. I see you guys out there. Now, some of y'all got your fake names out there. It's not the government name, so I don't know what that is. I see you, Denise. Robert. Hey, Robert. Oh, look at that. Okay. And I can't see who's on YouTube. So hi, YouTubers. I can't see you though. Gina. What's up, Gina? So thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I don't know why people are not subscribing. You're watching. 25,000 people a week are watching, but ain't nobody subscribing like they're supposed to be. So hit the subscribe button because all I'm doing is trying to motivate and inspire you. I'm sorry I don't do gossip, okay? What do you want me to do? Dr. Holly, I thank you very much. And I appreciate you. And I'll get to you on the inbox on behind the scenes. But thank you. And
thank you.
As soon as anything drops and when's your next show? That's what I meant to write. I didn't write it up here. When's your next appearance? Sorry. You have something coming?
I do. I'm gonna be in New York City.
Oh.
Yeah. And what is that? August. Yeah, so my next couple of shows are gonna be August. So I will be in Shelter Cove, California in August, and then that's August 7th. And then August 15th, I'll be in Newburgh, New York.
Oh, Newburgh, New York. Okay. Newburgh. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I can't believe I just realized I forgot you said you don't have a TikTok, you don't have a Facebook, girl, and you out here working in these streets. That's unheard of. Everybody tells you gotta have a
I have to pick and
choose.
Now I have to pick and choose where I have to pick and choose what I can handle and what I'm doing. Now, if I had an intern, I had an agent that somebody can take that on, okay, but it's just me. I believe in self-care. I believe in making sure I'm not burning myself out because I want to show up 100%. And so for me, my limitations is just Instagram right now and of course my website.
Good for you. Well done. Well done. That's unheard of. Most people want to take it all on. I'm like, I can't do that. But thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't got it to do. You're welcome. And thanks for having me again.
You are the best. And we will see you the next time because I'm sure there will be a next time. Okay?
Yes, it will be. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.